Alright, hello, and today I'm going to bring you my thoughts on the UFC demo for EA Sports UFC game. It comes out June 17th. These are my preliminary thoughts. Ha ha ha, anyone gets the joke. Please leave a like for it, because I worked really hard on that one. No, I didn't. It just popped in my head, because I was going to call it my preliminary thoughts, and I was like, hey, that's funny, preliminary. Anyway, I originally was going to do this with a bunch of clips cut together, and I probably kind of will still do that, you know, maybe some more later on thoughts. But this was a fight, a whole fight, and I wanted to show a whole fight happening, and the other reason is this ends in a majority decision, and for those of you who don't know what majority decision means, this would mean that one judge scored it a draw, while the other two picked the same person, in this case, Gustafsson, aka me. And I was intentionally trying to make this fight go the distance because I wanted a fight that went the distance to do this video, and I wanted to try and create the appearance of like a giant war and an awesome fight. And so I do my best not to end it at times where I probably could have just spammed a button and ended it. And yeah, so that's what this is, and I will continue now with my thoughts. So, my first impression when I played a game or two was that this is really bad. Because, well, okay, my first impression was, oh my god, it looks really good. And then my second impression was, why is Alexander Gustafsson spinning around like a ballerina through every move that he does, and leaping off the cage, and throwing punches, and all kinds of crazy shit? Well, that's still a problem. I hope that maybe what happened was in this demo, they have some extra stuff in his moveset to kind of show off what the game's capable of, because I've never seen Gustafsson, the kick that I just threw like a second ago, I've never seen him throw that kick. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think so. Jones, he throws a lot of spinning shit in here, and he has thrown spinning shit, for sure, and does kind of frequently, so I'm not as, you know, disappointed in that as much as there's just a lot of spinning shit, and I feel like there's limited consequences. Like, I felt like in THQ's game, you could take them down when they were, you know, they had their back turned to you. I just feel like you get away with spinning way too much in this game right now, and, like, there's no consequence for it. And the other thing kind of related to spinning shit is that I feel like kicks don't have the impact they should. Like a head kick, they just kind of brush it off and walk away as if nothing happened, and I don't think that that's how that works. When you get hit with like a spinning heel to the side of your dome, you don't just like stand still and not even react. So that kind of bugs me. As far as other things that are on my nerves, when people get rocked, usually this is when they're about to be knocked out, but when people get rocked, they go into what I'm calling duck feet, where they start waddling around like a duck, and it's not that it's totally wrong, it's just it looks really awkward. I don't know, it looks extra bad. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to explain it other than duck feet. I think there's too much spinning. It's on easy mode because it's the only difficulty available in the demo for whatever reason. I don't really know why. I don't know why you wouldn't allow me to change that, but that's the only one available in the demo, and I'm kind of hoping that on harder difficulties there's less aggression out of the AI, because, you know, right now they're just kind of like charging forward and spamming every button they have, and that becomes annoying because it doesn't allow me to do what I want to do. Like, especially, I've been having a lot of trouble. I have a lot of complaints about the ground game, but I'll kind of explain this. I've been having a lot of trouble with blocking transitions on the ground, and blocking takedowns too at times, but mainly transitions on the ground. And I've discovered that if you have close to a full stamina bar, I've been able to do it with more regularity. But at the same time, I never can have that because the CPU is always spamming shit like, oh, I'm going for a transition, I'm going for this, and eventually my stamina bar runs out, and then somehow their empty stamina bar trumps my empty stamina bar, and I don't understand. I don't understand how when I have full or close, like, say I have half stamina, and they have none, and they go for a takedown that they succeed, I'm like, wait, how does he do that? I'm not a big fan of all the sweeps on the ground, like the fact that every time they get to guard, they have two options. They can kick you off, or they can sweep into mount. There's not that many sweeps into mount going on in MMA right now for that really to be included in the game. I don't like the takedown that's like the giant WWE suplex. We might as well be doing like leaps off the side of the cage, which we kind of are, but like dropping elbows off the side of the cage, because there's a lot of that. And right now, like, we're on the ground, and so I'll kind of talk about this because I'm noticing it. Like, see that punch? Like, that's the only punch I've been able to figure out. Like, you can punch with that hand or whatever. And I think you can throw a knee when you're in side control. But, like, you know, in the THQ game, your other arm was also available. Like, that hand that's over the body could, you know, punch to the ear. You could throw elbows to their ribs. You know, there was a lot more options on the ground, and maybe I just don't know how to do it, but they don't appear to do it. They appear to only use the one hand, and you can change it from like a regular punch to a hammer fist sort of thing to an elbow, and that's changed with the bumpers on the back of the controller. But you know, it's a little like the ground game's kind of limited to me. It seems kind of weak. I'm not a big fan of how it was done, especially with the striking. And not only does the striking not seem varied, it seems it doesn't have impact. It feels like, you know, when I drop this giant elbow, I should be crushing them, and I'm not. So yeah, the blood though is pretty good. I didn't expect a lot of blood. I expected EA to kind of cut down on that to try and, you know, get the rating lower, whatever, you know, sell more copies, kind of that thing. They didn't really hold back. I mean, obviously, you know, there are some fights that blood's crazy in real life that they didn't quite portray here, but I think they produced the average amount of blood that you would see in a fight, if the fight gets pretty long and gruesome in this game. The submission system is, I think it's an interesting take on it. Like, you know, submission systems are so hard for an MMA game. Like, it would be really difficult to do a perfect submission system. Like, I don't know if we'll ever get that. But I think that this is better than the previous attempt by THQ, which was spinning the thing around the octagon, trying to cover your opponent's thing around the octagon. I thought that was a pretty good system. Like, it was much better than their previous one, where you were just spinning wildly. But it wasn't perfect. This one, I don't have the submission in this one. In my next video, where I kind of had those clips all cut together, it's like 8 or 9 minutes of clips. I can show you that, but this one, you kind of, whoever is the offensive guy points to different, or the defensive guy has to point to different directions to get out, like the guy defending it. The offensive guy has to match that direction to stop him, and then when the left stick shows up, he has to push in that direction to transition to the next stage of the submission. I think it's pretty good. I don't know how it's going to work when you're playing against a real person. Like, I feel like a real person will always be able to escape, because they can just kind of go in all the directions, and it's going to be hard to react quick enough. Maybe on higher difficulties, that can be changed to the point where it either doesn't move as quickly, or like there's some, you know, some kind of change to that. But, you know, right now it doesn't seem like there is. Another thing I noticed, which I'm just noticing because I saw the thing flash, I don't like that HUD in the corner. I don't think that HUD should be there. Mainly because they do a pretty good job, and I didn't know if maybe they didn't do this, but they do a pretty good job of representing when something is hurt. Like, they'll cover their stomach, they'll grab their head. You know, you don't need to show me up there. And especially the stamina bar. Like, I shouldn't have to know that he's out of stamina. I should just be able to see the fact that he's slowing down, which you can see. And that also goes to the fact that I don't know if this is possible, but I haven't been able to manage with leg kicks to cause them to limp in any way, shape, or form. I've really hurt their leg, but it doesn't seem like it does anything for me. I don't know. Maybe they slow down, like, really slightly, and that's why I'm not noticing. I have no idea. But I haven't been able to do that, and that's kind of disappointing. I really hate that HUD. This is the slam I was talking about. Like, what is that? It's probably happened before, but, like, the majority of takedowns are basically, like, tackling their legs. It's not like that. Takedowns can't be stopped, it appears, with the fence. Like, you don't get to the corner and, like, you know, hold yourself up against the fence. What else? I mean, my next video, I'll talk more about what I think, and then maybe some things I wish they added and that they can maybe add in the future. But You know, it's pretty good. One more thing that I just thought about quickly before my last piece is that I feel like when you get rocked, you're not allowed to block. Like, you don't cover your head. And I think that's kind of stupid because the majority of the time when somebody is really hurt, they just reach up for their head. And, like, sometimes I feel like I have covered my head, and sometimes I feel like my arms are trapped by my side and I can't cover my head. And it's like trying to force a knockout. But, yeah, so here's the decision, and they don't read scorecards. They don't show scorecards. There are no visible scorecards. Like, there's no 29-28, 29-28, 30-27. So that's why when it said majority decision, I was like, did EA mess up and make split decision a majority decision? And no, because I got a split decision today. So it appears that they... I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. So... in my next video, I'm going to talk more about the ground. I figured out how to do the crucifix and some other, interesting things. Talk more about the ground game. Talk more kind of about that. I think maybe they do have scorecards in the final game. Only because Bruce Buffer sounds really choppy when he reads the decision. Like it's skipping a part of the audio. Maybe not. Maybe it's just really fucking choppy. But anyways, so far, it's okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. We'll see. I definitely need to play with more people. Like, in this demo, they only have Jones and Gustafson, so I can't really tell, but, things like, are there more varied movesets? Do people all do the same shit? Because, like, they kind of do similar stuff, so it's worrisome, but I haven't been able to play with anyone else. So, June 17th, the game comes out. More videos on this in the coming weeks. I've spent probably 10 hours or so with it so far. Enjoying it, but not perfect by any means. So, anyways, thanks, and I'll see you later.